Hello listeners, this is Lee Price.
This is Will Ford from Football 365.
And you're listening smartly to At the Bridge Pod, a Chelsea FC podcast, although I would describe it as the Chelsea FC podcast.
Magical from Eden Hazard! Kai Havertz in the Champions League final! Ivanovic! In the middle, it's just behind him, but it's tapped in by Hakim Ziyech. Matic with the ball driver! Matic takes the net off!
It's time for another episode of At the Bridge Pod, your number one Chelsea FC podcast. Coming up on this episode,
I'm not sure what was more impressive, Cole Palmer's performance against Newcastle, or the way he conducted himself when Tim Sherwood asked that ridiculous question. Oh, welcome back everyone to another episode of At the Bridge Pod. I'm joined in a virtual room filled with one solitary lion. Oh, it's what happens when we record on a Tuesday. It does happen. I've got Ollie, and that is what matters. We've got Ollie. Yes, I'm content. I feel like that sounded so sarcastic, and it really wasn't. But
it's all right. No, because when it's just birth, you're like, I'm here with birth. No,
right.
It's nice to be.
Hey. What was your highlight from the weekend, if you have one? I mean, quiet one.
Yeah, well, it was a reasonably quiet one, but I visited some family, and it was my birthday yesterday, so that was very nice. I got to spend some good time with family, and yeah, just enjoy It was a quiet birthday. It was a quiet one, you could say.
Oh well,
bring it up on the bingo card, ladies and gents.
I mean, for me, you know what? I'm apart from. I'm just going to quickly brief it. Apart from NFL free agency, which it's always wild.
Ding, ding, ding.
Yeah, I feel that's fair. It's fair. But my highlight was Cristiano Ronaldo missing from a few yards for Al Nassr. I didn't think I'd ever see him miss a chance worse than the one. Some listeners might remember it from against Sheffield United. That was many years ago. But you know what? I now know the answer to the question: can he do it on a warm Monday night in Riyadh? No, we can't. So, oh my word, we have a triple match report. And
oh my God.
I know. First up though, we'll just briefly go through Chelsea's 1-0 win over City in the League Cup semi-final, which, oh man, I mean, that was a difficult watch for me because it was a smash and grab type of performance. I mean, you know, Diego Simeone would be so proud of the Chelsea women's team because
it was such a shithouse performance, wasn't it?
I mean, on paper, you go 1-0 to two elite women's teams against each other. Close game. It wasn't
we got battered left and right. I mean, I got the stats here: 28, 3 shots to 8, 10 on target to 3. This is in City's favour, by the way. 64% to 36 possession. Almost 600 passes to our 300. Like, they just absolutely ran us ragged, didn't they?
Yeah. I mean, hey, it don't matter. You know, we managed to somehow keep that clean sheet. There was some good individual play, but it wasn't very cohesive as a team. But the thing is, you know, the main thing is you're in a final. That's the job. It's a bit like that ironic Jermaine Genius quote when he said about Spurs were the better team against Chelsea in the FA Cup semi. Don't matter. You're not in the final. You didn't win.
Yep, exactly. Especially in knockout competitions, winning is all that matters. And you know, like if it was the other way around, if we had lost that game from a smash and grab, we wouldn't be saying, "Oh, at least we played well."
No, because you're not you've not won. You're not in the final. You know, yes. It's as blunt as that. I mean,
who is the final against?
Arsenal.
Oh, big game. That'll be great to watch.
Yeah, I mean, it's like the irony of look at 2011-12 Champions League final. Were Chelsea the better team? No. You know, Bayern absolutely dominated with the amount of shots and possession, but did they lift the trophy? Nope. And that's all that matters.
Hannah Hampton got 10 saves in that game.
That's outstanding. Really doing well in her season for Chelsea, which is something. I mean, next up, obviously, we will touch on that Chelsea women were on the road. They took on Everton in the FA Cup. Here is the match report. Chelsea, having triumphed in their 2 previous London derbies against West Ham and Crystal Palace, faced Everton. Despite Chelsea's dominance in the prior encounters, Everton certainly posed a tougher challenge. 6 changes from the previous game against City in the League Cup. Chelsea saw Bjorn hitting the woodwork early on. However, an injury forced her off the field, leading to a rearrangement in the defence. Although Everton had moments of pressure, they failed to test the keeper consistently. And the second half saw us exert some more control, with Macario scoring just 3 minutes after coming on as a substitute, really making a habit of that, which is awesome to see. And there were some late chances for Everton, but, we held on for the win, and we're into the semi-finals of the FA Cup. Everton 0, Chelsea 1. Another 1-0 in a cup. Hey, it's all good. Macario sends the Blues to another semi-final. I feel that the game was a bit underwhelming. This is weird. I'm usually quite buoyant from these games, but I expected dominance and I didn't get it. Everton outplayed us at times, which again I was not anticipating. I was a bit, but I guess hindsight, considering the team's injuries and hectic schedule that's coming up, it's important not to be overly critical here, don't you think?
Yeah, I think so. It was the same as the City result in a lot of ways. Just get through, and we did that thanks to a really, really great goal from Ramirez. She took it really, really well, but as well,
it was Macario. It was Macario.
Macario. Apologies.
Oh.
But I think it was Aggie Beaver Jones that got the assist down the right hand side.
Yes,
Skipped away from the defender and laid it off really well. We've been singing her praises all season, but she just continues to impress every week for me.
Yeah, 100%. Could not agree more. I mean, despite the challenges that we're facing, Mauro Ramirez was off injured in the Man City game, didn't play in this one, and we're still getting results. Two cup games, 2 victories. That's what matters. That's the positive. The subs obviously in the game made the impact. Of course they did. That's why some players have been benched. They're the ones that are on the bench at the moment coming on in a cup game, they're better. But you just said Aggie Beaver Jones. She stood out for me as the player of the game because that threat going forward, the assist. That's exactly what we've seen from her all season, and and it's encouraging to see Macario maintain that goal scoring form. 2 sub appearances, 2 goals. That's not bad. It's not bad.
Yeah, not bad at all. Yeah,
I mean,
very impressive.
I mean, the priority is to avoid further injuries. We lost Sam Kerr. Myra Ramirez we don't know yet. Emma Hayes did provide a sort of post-game update on both Bjorn and Ramirez, and she just said that Natalie felt a calf, so I think it's fair to say there'll be something there with that. We won't know until we're back home. And then with Ramirez, we just felt it was too soon today for her, so we left her at home and gave Aggie a start. We might have to do that from week to week, where some can't play every 3 days. We'll see how she is when we get back. So it's kind of like, ooh.
Yeah, it's a tough schedule at the top of the game.
Ridiculous amount of games in March.
Yeah. The women's team are just absolutely loaded up with just quantity of games at the moment. So it's just about in this stage of the season, in the business end of the season, it's just about grinding out results. And that is what, if anyone knows how to do, Emma Hayes does. So
yeah, we always, March is known as March Madness for the basketball. It does feel like a basketball schedule. It really does. It's a game like every other day. It just feels that way. And, looking ahead, obviously the next crucial match is against Arsenal at the Bridge. Yes. And hopefully Macario is going to become Sam Kerr 2.0. I mean, she's looking a great signing for Chelsea's team. And, she was on for a minute, scores. Pretty good all round, really.
Yeah. Also, they've got such a good attack, haven't they? They've got Russo and Little and Beth Mead. But you know what? I would say a lot of our strengths come in our defence with, the likes of Bjorn and
exactly. That's what we hope she's back fully fit soon.
And of course Hannah Hampton in goal as well. So it's going to be a really, really interesting one. Of course, I believe, is it our next game in the Cup is Man United as well after this Everton game?
That would be the FA Cup semi-finals, because the game is at the end of the FA League Cup finals at the end of this month. So no, hang on, I've just pulled it up. It's not. Wow, listen to this. We've got Arsenal in the obviously League Cup final, and then there's a slight break, and then we play Man United in the semi-final. Wow, that's
rough,
back to
that.
back.
And they're no slouches either. They got Ella Toon, they got Mary Earp in goal. And they're both full-fledged England internationals. It's going to be a tough one to get past them as well.
Yeah, I mean, I keep just seeing that now. I've just seen again a reminder that our final WSL season game is against Man United. That's not going to be easy. It's not going to be easy.
Tough one.
No, and City have got Villa away. Villa haven't been great, but we shall see. We shall see how it plays out. So,
I mean, we've got to go and win the Champions League tie against Ajax first.
I know. So many. It's like I said, March Madness. It's just non-stop.
Yeah.
And non-stop again. We're on to our third of 3 match reports, sponsored by 23 games, 11 goals, and 8 assists. It's Cole Palmer. Chelsea 3, Newcastle 2. Well, a W, an actual W. Yes, listeners, a win, 3 points. They stay in London. And you know what? Chris did actually send in his winners.
Oh, start with one of Chris's winners.
He's got 3.
I've got 4.
Winners. 4? Wow. I mean,
it's a good thing I loaded up considering nobody else is here.
I mean, winners. We've got the same first winner, me and Chris and I. Do you have Nicholas Jackson down?
I really wanted to put him in, but I thought other people would choose him, so I decided.
You
to
found
go
4 winners, and Nicholas Jackson wasn't one.
Yeah, honestly, yeah, but he would have been like an honourable mention because he had an absolutely fantastic game against Newcastle. He really did.
Chris, why did Chris choose him? Well, he says he was developing really well. Proper striker's goal, showing instincts, good base to play off.
Really nice little flick that.
Yeah, and an all-round really good performance. I mean, yeah, why was he my winner? I mean, he opened the scoring, and to be honest with you, I mean, he's shown promise in his debut season, despite notably missed opportunities.
Do you know what I think the perfect word to describe Jackson is that he's a handful. He's just a handful for any defender he comes up against because he's tenacious and he controls the ball actually really well. And he can come in from the left, he can come in through the middle. And I think defenders just don't really know what to do with someone with his kind of level of tenacity and also having that good a touch as well. So that he ends up kind of spinning people quite a lot. He just needs to get that little bit of ruthlessness in him. And he's going to be looking at, a 15-goal season, a starting season for as Chelsea's number 9, which considering he was out for a month of it is phenomenal.
This is what we touched on it like really early on in the year. Gosh, I think it was Christmas when we said when he goes away for the AFCON, we're going to noticeably miss him. And I know some people were sort of like, well, we did. And look, it's a strong start for me for his debut season and for a player of his age. 9 goals already in the league. And you cannot say to me that there's not optimism for him to potentially reach 15 for this season. Yeah, and that'd be awesome. I mean, I look at his overall contributions, 15 goal involvements in 31 across all competitions. And that's reflecting really well on his adaptability and his potential. He could be a top forward in the coming years. And considering obviously the challenges of playing in inconsistent team and just look at that performance against Newcastle. It's a promising trajectory for his development, in my opinion.
Yeah, he's really kicking on as well, which I really appreciate from this season. He had some difficulties at the start, and he's kind of put that behind him. And I think that's probably down a bit to Pochettino, so credit to him where that's due. It just feels like, he's almost kind of developed more of the mentality because I personally don't think his ability's gone up all that much. I think it's more that he's confident and he's playing with confidence and he has more courage in his own abilities as well. That number 9 shirt at Chelsea is it's got you've got a target on your back. It's a real spectre. It's a real shadow. And he's dealing with it really, really well. He's probably the best person to have taken that number 9 shirt since since Drogba. When he.
Oh, you're going to hate me when I say Jackson's a 15.
Yeah, okay, I know, but but so was Drogba when he started. Like Drogba was
That
never
is,
number
yeah,
nine either. But
it's surreal,
we all
isn't
know
it?
we say the number 9 shirt, but we mean the striker.
Yeah.
I was interesting looking at that as well because Jackson is something like 9 goals in the Premier League this season.
Yeah.
And in his first season, Drogba only got 10. Now, I know Drogba scored in the final and, we got to semi-finals and other things. The teams at the time were completely, incomparable. But if you compare just the two players and what they've managed to do in their debut season, actually, when it really puts into perspective how well Jackson's done. And hopefully he kicks on.
Yeah, 100%. Right, winner.
It's the sponsor of the episode. It's Cole Palmer.
Oh, yes.
He had a really, really good game, didn't he?
Yeah.
Sets one up, scores himself. Really, really nice finish down into I think it was Dubravka's bottom left, just slightly outside the box. Really nice. Combined really well with a lot of the players on that right-hand side. Just ran Newcastle ragged, really.
Yeah.
They couldn't get anywhere near him. Top performance, top professional.
Chris had him as well, but sure,
and
everyone
also,
will have him.
Yeah, and you know what? An extra win for him for mugging off Tim Sherwood in the post commentary as well.
Oh, we will touch on that.
Yeah, with Tim Sherwood, trying to be a little sneaky snake, but Cole Palmer, he's ice cold under pressure. He was having none of it. Just really, really good performance from him, and he just continues to be such a shining gem in what is a pretty mid season.
Yeah, I mean, who's another winner for you?
I've got his partner on the right hand side. It's Malo Gusto.
Oof, great game.
I think, yeah, really good game. He's becoming. I think he might be the best value for money signing that we've made this one. In the Bowley Clear Lake era. I think he's absolutely phenomenal to come in and step into the shoes of someone like Reece James, who is one of the best right backs in the world when he's fit. We all know that, and actually we haven't missed him. Not with Gusto on that side. They offer different things. Of course, Gusto is actually very strong defensively and could do with a little bit more going forward, really. Whereas, Reece is really good in all aspects of his game. But the fact that you can even say we haven't really missed him is a testament to how good he's been. I've been so impressed. And I'll admit, when he first signed for us, I was actually a bit skeptical about him. I thought, well, I'm not sure about this.
Okay.
People saying he couldn't defend and things like that. But you know what? He proved me wrong within a month. I changed my opinion around him, and I've never looked back. He's been phenomenal. Again, combining with Palmer and on that right hand side was just especially running Dan Burn all over the place.
Yeah.
Just causing problems all game.
I mean, that's. I'm glad you said Gusto because Chris actually would say Gusto too, but someone else will. And you're right, Chris.
I think Gusto though is the thing with Gusto is. I think, and this might be I don't know if we call this a Tuesday hot take, but
hot take,
sponsored by some other unknown player rather than Del Horno. But I think Gusto has an absolutely unbelievable command of the football, at unbelievable level. I think he might be the person with the best sort of command of the football at the club at the moment. I really do. The way he's able to manipulate the ball and do exactly what he wants when he wants with it is a phenomenal for a 20-year-old.
I mean, Chris's final winner was Cucurella. He did was at fault for the last goal, but aside from that, thought he was really solid after being out for so long. Yeah, you kind of forget that he was out. Remember when we didn't even know he was injured? We post a photo of him having his post-surgery and you're like, what?
Yeah.
What?
Nice.
Oh, wow.
And it was a shame because he was really kicking on at that stage as well. And it's good to see that he's come back. And while he was definitely at fault for the third goal. And some of his main issues still appear, being a bit flat-footed and the way he defends. He doesn't really do that very well. But but that afro was back and it was good to see it bouncing. And I thought considering he's been out for so long, we can't give him too much of a difficulty.
I mean, my second winner it's a cheeky one. I've got the trio of good signings. You touched on it earlier. I've got Cole Palmer, great signing. Malo Gusto, great signing. Georgi Petrovic, incredible signing. I mean, all three have been incredible signs for this team. And, Cole Palmer, you know what? I think he's going to need a bigger house to put all his man of the match awards in because that dude is cooking. He has been. I mean, he's outperforming this season. Foden, Alvarez, Bowen. I mean, that's some company.
And Saka, maybe not Saka. I'm not sure. There's like one stat going around, isn't there? That it's him and Bellingham have under 21 have the most goals and assists this season in Europe.
It's just incredible.
That's madness. I think Palmer might actually have more, or it's either more or the same. It's a crazy statistic, and man, I'm so happy we got Cole.
I know.
Palmer.
I mean, I still look back. I mean, we did the Georgi Petrovic episode where we broke down what he could bring and everything. I'm really glad that's aged well. And
that one has aged well.
Really well. He'll beat out Robert Sanchez for number one. I was like, we either hit it out the park or we fall flat on our face. You know what? I will play my final winner here. I will put them down, and I've got Mrs. Pochettino. Because a 3-2 win means that the birthday date, it's back on. A dinner reservation at the finest of restaurants, please.
Love that.
Everyone was a winner last night.
In the Discord, I want everyone to say what they think Maurizio ordered. I'm going to go with some kind of lemon-based dessert.
Oh, lemon meringue, lemon cheese.
Yeah, lemon meringue or a lemon posset or something. Yeah.
Yeah. That's nice.
Or a lemon drizzle cake.
That's a classic. You can't go wrong with that.
It's really nice. I rate it very highly.
They are nice. They are really nice. Who's your other winners?
Yeah, so my third winner is Macario Mudryk.
Lovely
goal, obviously. Yeah, absolutely beautiful goal. The way he danced through there, very good. Really, his dribbling is just very, very impressive. His turn of pace is, we all know, is very good, but he just needs to be able to put it together for a full 90. You know,
yes.
Had a really, really good 20-minute cameo. It was arguably the best I've seen of him.
Yeah.
In a Chelsea shirt, and probably since we signed him, really. And like you say, he capped it off with a really nice little solo goal. Sort of nipped the ball off Gallagher's feet, danced right through the middle, about past 2 or 3 Newcastle defenders, then rounded Dubravka and slotted it home. Thought for a minute that the defender was going to get there when he passed it quite gingerly into the goal, but he did really well. And I don't know, he just seems to keep getting better and better a little bit, just a tiny inch at a time.
It's the potential, it's confidence.
I just can't quit him. You know what I mean? I just can't give up on him.
Yeah, it's just that confidence factor. Once he's got it, he's got it. That's the thing, and we all see it with different players throughout. Look at Torres back at Chelsea when he first started. That he scored. Everyone forgets the incredible goal he scored against United in that game. They always remember the miss. See, some listeners right now, are going to think the incredible goal. Look it up, and you'll go, "Oh bloody hell, that's a good goal."
Nobody remembers that. No one remembers that because of that miss.
Exactly, and it's confidence. Once it's knocked, it can be challenging. The physical side of the game is difficult enough, but the mental side of it as well is just as difficult. And I feel many forget that.
Yeah, no doubt. And, coming in, taking the number 10 shirt, of course, Eden Hazard's shirt, and Pulisic is before that, but that's hardly a high bar to reach. Although he is doing well at Milan. He's doing very well.
Streets won't forget lockdown Pulisic.
Yeah, unbelievable hat-trick against Burnley or whatever. But yeah, they're big shoes to fill, basically. Yeah. And I think that despite a lot of the slack that he has gotten, and he does still have a lot to go in his game, and he needs to improve in other aspects. But whenever he seems to be really affecting games, at least a little when he's playing, and for me that's more important than necessarily some other things to his game that people are a little bit upset about. Whether he can hug the byline or whatever. But that's neither here nor there. In his central role, I think actually he does really well. So he gets his flowers today.
That's fair. Who's your final winner then?
Well, my final winner is not a who, but a what. It was shooting early. Sometimes
it happened.
Sometimes in life you have to go early instead of waiting until the very, very last second to decide to do something. And the game against Newcastle was a really good showing of why sometimes it's important to go early rather than late. But you've got Palmer's goal. Obviously, he took that slightly early from outside the box. 2 of Newcastle's goals. Murphy's one from in the 90th minute, to get it back to 3-2. He took that slightly early. Isak's goal to make it to 1-1 in the first half. He took that a little bit early as well, to when he bent it around Disasi. I was really. It was just an interesting parallel to see from the game that this was a game where people were shooting early and the goals were flying in. And who always was really good at that. And I feel like no one ever really took up that mantle in the same way. It was Thierry Henry. He would always kind of on that left-hand side, then he'd kind of cut in on his right or just play it, just shoot half a second or a second earlier than the goalkeeper thinks he's gonna,
Yeah.
and it catches them off guard so much. And you can really see it with some of the goals that went in. Just going that little bit earlier and playing with a bit more courage. Yeah. It's beneficial.
Right. There's always losers. There's always losers. I've got two. Chris had two as well.
I've got three.
I mean, I wonder if...
But it's a bit of a... meh. It's two and a bit, really.
I wonder if we've all got... Actually, I'll tell that back. I didn't click see more on Chris's message. He's got three.
To reveal 7 more losers.
Oh, man. Right. Did he say 2? I also can't read... I don't know. I can't bloody read.
Give us Chris's first loser.
Can you guess who it is?
Is it Enzo?
It's Enzo. He's not even here, and he's winding people up. Look, he's put
that wing. He's never going to forgive him for that wing mirror.
He's put a laugh emoji. To be fair to him, he's okay, but once again didn't get a hold of the game once we took the lead. Sloppy in possession and was at fault for the equaliser with a really poor pass. Oh my word!
Yeah, I actually had a similar loser. I actually said the midfield duo of him and Caicedo. I just thought they were run through the whole midfield in general. I know Gallagher did really well in sort of covering the space that Cucurella and Sterling was leaving on the left hand side, but I thought the whole midfield was just run through really easily, despite everything. It was actually quite a good game, quite end to end game. Lots of chances.
Yeah,
but the reason that is because neither team could establish any midfield stability whatsoever. So it's great for the neutral, but not great for us.
I mean, I'll run off his final loser because it's a bit harsh. It's his birthday yesterday. Come on, but he's got Disasi, and he's put not a terrible performance, but he's got to be more aggressive when people are on the edge of the box. He keeps letting players shoot while turning away.
It's what we said about Isak's goal, didn't we?
Yeah. Oh, and he does have a final loser. I see again, it's my eyes. I'm not getting too old, but his final loser was in Nkunku. I feel like if he doesn't play at least half of our remaining games, the team could move on without him already. Palmer's undroppable, so too Jackson, unless we sign a top striker. And if Mudryk steps up, then he's in real trouble. Injuries could finish his Chelsea career before it's begun. I think that's a very fair very fair statement.
Hit the nail on the head there. We say that about players, then they get injured and things, that we worry about the team being able to pass them by. We've said it a little bit with Chilwell this season, and certainly Wesley Fofana as well. We do worry about what's going to happen to him. Is he going to come back the same? Chilwell certainly hasn't. And it is a worry if Nkunku can't come back and be the player we all thought he was going to be. Yeah, he might not even get off the ground.
Yeah. You know what? I will say my first loser, and it's Raheem Sterling, because
he's on mine.
What? Let me tell you about what I saw against Newcastle. I saw a performance that was wasteful. It was selfish, and frankly,
and disrespectful to the establishment.
Yeah, it looked like it kind of gave me the vibe. He looked like he'd rather be anywhere else but on that field. I mean, it felt like I was watching someone who just clocked out mentally and was just counting down the minutes till they could leave and go home.
I know. I can't believe I keep seeing that headline today where it's like it says Sterling is fully committed to Chelsea. I'm like, yeah, for 300 grand a week, I'm sure you are, mate. Like,
yeah, I see better than I hear, and I'll keep being told that Sterling's committed and all this. I don't see it. And
doesn't look committed, does it?
No. I mean, Mudryk did more in 20 minutes than Sterling did in 70.
Yeah.
I know fresh legs against a tired Newcastle, but it just didn't. I only have one memory that stands out of that game, and it was when Sterling, yet again, dribbled with the ball, run into traffic.
Yeah, it drives me up the wall, man. But cause what frustrates me is that Sterling almost seems to get a pass sometimes for some of the poor ways that he plays. He'll get sort of people have a bit of a go at him, but if Mudryk did the exact same thing, he'd be totally crucified for it. And it doesn't feel like that should be the way it is. And I know people say, Mudryk was 80 billion, whatever he cost. But, Sterling is actually costing the club more in terms of his wages every single week. And he was brought, we've brought him in to be an experienced head in attack and a leader and all of this stuff. I've said it 100 times this season. He's just not doing it.
No.
And so far he's getting outshone by everyone else. He's really kind of, it feels like he's only playing because we need a player who's over 25 in the squad in attack. That's really it. That's my view on it. And like I say with Sterling, if he doesn't score, he's had a bad game, and he's had a bad game.
Yeah. I mean, who's some losers you've got?
My final loser is actually individual brilliance. Because for this Chelsea game, like we look at the first goal, it's a nice shot by Palmer with a beautiful bit of skill and flick from Jackson to get it past Dubravka. Second goal, you got you got Palmer obviously rifling it in from outside the box. That again, it's like an individual moment of real quality. And then you've got Mudryk dribbling through three players, rounding the keeper and slotting it in. Despite the fact that we scored 3 goals, I didn't really feel like it was the team that scored them, if you know what I mean. It felt more that they were moments of just individual class, and that's great. It's really good to know that the players have got that in their locker. But at the same time, there is a real distinct worry that if those moments don't come off, we lose that game 2-1 in the 90th minute to a Jacob Murphy wonder strike. I just worry again about not having control of the game and the tactical implications of it. And listen, we won, so I'm not going to get too upset about it all. We'll move on to next week, I'm sure, and we can have actual things to be upset about if we don't win. But it was just the fact that it was moments of individual quality rather than the team showcasing quality across the board for me.
My final loser is you said his name earlier. It's Tim Sherwood for this.
So all you need is some players to play with. I know you can't say that, but I'm saying it. I just think you need more quality around you. For me, he needs to build the team around you, the quality where you have. But that come with a few transfer windows, hopefully, once he gets the right players in.
Yeah, there's a lot of quality there. Like not just me, we've got loads of other players. So hopefully, the team can gel a bit more than everyone has seen.
All right, perfect. Cool.
He handled that much better than I would have.
Thank God for media training, man. Word.
It was like. You could see it in his face, like he's trying to set me up here.
Honestly, if I was Cole Palmer over there, I would have been really upset with him once the camera was going on.
Oh my word!
Because what a little ratty thing to say.
What's he meant to say? Just to go, yes, Tim, I agree. All my teammates are shit.
Do you know what? Tim Sherwood has a real thing against Chelsea. It's not just because he's fully Spurs, because he is, but as well, you've got to remember that Pochettino made his career entirely irrelevant. When he was the manager at Spurs, because he took over for him and made him look like an absolute idiot, because before that Spurs were doing terribly and then they were doing much better. So you got to remember he's got a bit of a chip on his shoulder about Chelsea and he's looking to undermine us at every opportunity.
I mean, it's just that factor.
Right? He's always being upset.
Yeah, when you say that, you can't say it, but I'm going to... And it's like, you've already set him up. So it's sort of like, this is difficult because if I say something, obviously, if I don't say something, but he handled it really well. Fair play, man.
Like a 50-something-year-old man there is trying to trip up a 21-year-old kid, right? Trying to get him to say something, trying to get him to get a soundbite or whatever for the camera. Exactly. I don't know what he's done. I don't know why he's done it, but Tim Sherwood's a rat, and I hope he doesn't watch us play ever again.
Yeah. Right, we'll get some emojis. I just went with ice cold emoji because of that. I think for that alone, just the coolness. Cole Palmer, how it handled that Tim Sherwood not question.
I went with the same thing, actually. I was just going with an ice cube for Cole Palmer because he really ran the show. And he just, I really want to see him continue and really kick on and just finish the season with a real flurry and show us all the quality he's got.
Yeah, that's fair. Lion of the week. Oh, the weekend Lions were actually reasonable. We had Palmer. Well, that's a win.
No doubt.
Caicedo, and hey, look, can I just say I've won Lion Cub of the week because I had Castledine, 2 goals and a 7-1 win over Newcastle Academy side. That's good enough. I'll take it.
Lion Cub of the week.
Of
course. Yeah, shout out to the youngsters as well. Putting 7 past that Newcastle youth team. People notice things like that, and that will get you in the first team conversation, or at the very least, it will get you to skip a couple under 18 and under 21 games to be an unused sub.
Someone's shouting right now at their walls. I don't know how they're listening to the pod. Going, it's a 26-team league, Mike, in the academies. Yes, it is. Newcastle are bottom. I know that. I don't care.
Still put 7 past them on your head and just have it.
Exactly. We do not care that it's a 26-team league. No, do not care.
Nobody asked.
Good enough. Oh my word. Right. We're going to move to the Quaresma's questions. 2 good questions I've got. I ate the other Greg. I don't know if it's I hate or I ate him. I don't know. I just love the name. I was like, bloody brilliant name. So whether you what? Sorry.
Who was that from? I don't think I caught that.
I ate the other Greg.
Nice.
Now,
Well,
that 8 could mean hate or it could mean 8. I don't know.
Yeah, I'm going to assume it means actually consumed the other Greg.
Good meal, wonderful food, good dinner, whatever it was. I forgot now. So long ago.
Great meal, wonderful
that
food.
meme. Right. He's asked, or she's asked, should Reece James come back fit and ready? Could Gusto play up on the wing?
I was thinking that, but
okay.
It's a difficult one to make happen because if you're going to put so you got to put Reece James back in, so you got to move Gusto up the. If you're going to move Gusto to the wing, then you've got to move Palmer in centrally, which means you've got to either bring Gallagher back or drop him entirely, and that's just not going to happen in a Pochettino side. Where I think he could really excel when Reece comes back is at left back. Because I know he's only played there once, but I really think he can grow into having a bit of resilience there on that left-hand side. We do need a left back. You know, they said we were looking for one in the summer, and it would be really good to have Gusto be a player who can cover both sides of the ball with his quality. You know, and the other thing, of course, is whether you assume that Reece comes back to be right back at all. Now, I imagine he will, but you know, if we were playing 3 at the back, maybe he plays as right centre back, or you never know, maybe he goes into midfield to ease the strain on his body or whatever. I don't know, but I think when he comes in, I don't think Gusto goes on the wing unless Palmer's not playing, in which case I could see it. I mean, having them both overlap would be great, but I don't know.
I mean, for me, my take on this is kind of piping hot because I don't think Reece James is first choice right back any longer. Yeah, that's Gusto. I mean, he's shown the talent. He's shown talent. He's shown potential, and guess what? He's shown availability. I can rely on him to be there. You know, and look. When it comes to Reece, I love him, but he kind of reminds me more like a Jeep. He's great to look at. But he's expensive and he's unreliable. Because of the injuries, we can't. He has not been consistent with availability, and it sucks because we know when he's on his day, when he's fully fit, he is. I would say another hot take, I guess, to some Liverpool fans. He's the best right back in the Premier League.
No, that shouldn't upset any of Liverpool fans because of course Trent is a midfielder, isn't he?
we're so told that. That's how I see it. I mean.
I know just to go back to that as well. I know we've been calling out for like someone to play at the base of midfield. Reece James could do that, but I don't know. Maybe you want him more as a classic central midfielder, battling for the ball, getting down the wing as well. You know, maybe you lose the ability of his crossing and him to come in from deep and whatnot. And those are a lot of his major qualities. But I don't know. But for me, I feel like he could do a job at midfield.
That's fair. Finally, rounding off, we've got Alex who's asked, do you agree that Mudryk is a must start on Sunday? He was electric tonight.
Yeah, but it doesn't matter because Pochettino is probably going to drop him from the squad entirely because that's what happens after he has a good game.
I mean, 100% for me. Yes, he's got to play, but we had so many points made about Mudryk on Instagram that I'm going to read a few out. So we had, as I just go through them and pull my screen up on my phone, Alexander Barron had put Misha through the middle through the rest of the season. That's it. That is all.
I like it. I like it as an option.
Soph Ariana said, literally, what will it take for Poch to start Misha? Am I missing something? Or
probably Sterling to collapse, and I don't know, or like to get lost at sea or something.
Mudryk start. This is from Sarah. Mudryk starts over Sterling, shows the composure that he supposedly doesn't have. I agree. That goal, was wow.
People say that about Mudryk all the time. People have these myths about Mudryk. People say, you know, like that he can't defend and that he's got no composure. And it's like, well, actually, he can do both of those things. Any professional footballer should be able to do both of those things. Man, it drives me up the wall, man. Just use your eyes. Look,
I love how you sound like this is your burner account. I'm sure it's not, but Keith finally he's put Mudryk look well. Think he'll continue to get ignored as he normally does after playing well.
yeah.
It's very true.
Thank you, Keith. Man after my own heart.
Yeah, Mudryk there, like, I'm going to play this weekend. No, you're not. You're with the reserves this week.
No, I guarantee it. He will probably come on with like 10 minutes to go in the next game. something like that. Whenever he has a good game, Pochettino always drops him. And the comments he made, Pochettino, after the game about Mudryk as well, indicated that he wasn't all that impressed with his performance either. Which is quite, I think it's a little bit harsh, but also I think that might be a bit of the man management side from Pochettino. I think Mudryk, personally, for me, I think Mudryk is someone who needs a little bit of a push like that, a little bit of pressure, a little bit of tough talking about him so he can prove people wrong, because that's kind of his whole thing, right? He works hard and he proves everyone wrong.
Yeah.
So
I guess we'll be seeing.
Maybe it's that, maybe it's not, but
yeah, I guess we'll see Macario Mudryk start up front for the academy side against Forest's academy this Friday. There you go.
Nice.
Alicia, if you wondered, Forest are 20th out of a 26-team league.
Nice.
So, they're still... I tell you what,
we want 10.
If you want to chuckle, Newcastle have conceded... Their academy side have conceded 32. So you go, that's quite a lot. Man City's academy have conceded 44, and they're 24th. But even weird, this is where it gets really surreal. Blackburn's academy have conceded 50 goals, and they're 15th. That's all.
So they're out. Yeah. They've had a few weird games where they've just got absolutely pumped and won the rest by like a little margin, I suppose.
Yes,
but,
it's interesting.
Fair enough. Good on you, Blackburn. Blackburn Rovers Academy. You're all friends of the show.
Oh man! Right. Thank you for listening to the episode. Treat yourself well. We're obviously at the end of another episode. We'll be back on Thursday because that's our schedule now. Hopefully we'll have full sample of Lions. So till then, that is us signing off. You've been listening to At The Bridge Pod, a Chelsea FC podcast. Follow us on Twitter and Instagram by searching for At The Bridge Pod. And if you're listening on Apple or Spotify, leaving us a review is always appreciated.